Good evening, everyone. It's Steve Lookner with Right Side Broadcasting. This is another edition of our ongoing, continuing coverage of the anti-government protests in Iran. It's a little tougher to cover these things now because the government there has really cracked down on internet, slowed the internet, cell phone internet. They've cracked down on messaging apps, not allowing, from what I've heard, Telegram to be used, Instagram to be used, or I've even heard there are restrictions on Twitter. So very, very hard to get video out of Iran right now. Also, I've also heard that much bigger security presence these days. Reportedly, I've heard reports that people are scared of taking video because they think that they might get arrested for doing so. Also, the government has threatened very severe penalties for anyone arrested after day 3 of the protests, and we're long after day 3 now, even threatening death penalty for people who are arrested in the protests. So for lots of reasons, but I think those are the main reasons, especially from what I hear, the crackdown on the throttling of the internet and the cell phone internet and the messaging services. Because of that, we're getting very, very little video communication about what's going on in there, and it makes it incredibly hard to figure out exactly what's going on. But we're going to do our best to at least try and update you on what's going on there. And real quick, this is the third stream today that we have done a live stream where YouTube didn't let you know that we're on the air, even though we are on the air. You subscribe to us, you want to know when there's a live stream. They don't let you know, and then after the video is over, they'll say, oh, they uploaded a video, but you didn't know we were live. So if you know of anyone who's been watching our streams or who wants to watch our streams, give them a shout right now. Say, hey, those guys are on the air. YouTube is stupid. They didn't send out another a notification, because it's hard for us to let you know we're on the air live when you subscribe to us on YouTube, and YouTube doesn't actually tell you that, even though you signed up for this. One other quick thing is, if you get annoyed at this and you don't get a notification for some live stream, feel free to tweet Team YouTube at YouTube and at Team YouTube. Put them both on there and tell them to please fix this. We have asked them this for 9 months to fix this, and they have not fixed it. So you tell me. Anyways, we want to do our best to cover this Iran story for you. I have heard there are protests going on. Very hard to say how many, how widespread, what's going on exactly with them. There could be a lot going on in that country we just don't know about. I guarantee there's a lot going on either way we don't know about. But we're going to just do our best to try to bring you up to date. Just because we're not getting a lot of video out there doesn't mean we shouldn't be covering the story. It's still a really important story. I think the American mainstream media has basically forgotten about the story. There wasn't a single Iran question in the White House press briefing today, but there were about 30 questions on the upcoming tell-all book about the White House and President Trump and Steve Bannon. But we think it's important to cover, so we're here covering it, and we want to give you the latest information, at least do the best on giving you the latest information we can. So I want to say a quick thanks. Guinevere is moderating tonight in the chat room. Thank you, Guinevere. Oh, and I forgot to tell Jake. Hold on a second. Hang on a second. I have to message Jake so he puts it on the website. I forgot. So, sorry about that. All right. Now we're ready. So let's start talking about this. So thank you, Guinevere, for moderating the chat room. And let's start talking about what's going on in Iran, or at least doing our best to figure out what's going on in Iran. So I wrote some stuff down. I've been searching around during the day, trying to piece together what I can tell you about what's going on there. Well, now, this is interesting because as I'm talking, a tweet just got sent out by Farnaz Fasihi from the Wall Street Journal. And she says, she just sent this out. Day 8 wrap. Scattered protests in small towns, mass arrests of student activist journalist protesters. I'd heard one report of a student arrest. I haven't heard that about the mass arrest. That's very interesting. That's new news to me, if that's true. Middle-class reformist faction largely sitting it out and calls for calm. Analysts say it looks more like 1979 than 2009. That last comment about 1979 more than 2009, 2009 was about, the protests in 2009 were about a presidential election that the protesters thought was rigged. It was more middle-class people. This is more of a lower-class protest movement. And perhaps the 79 more when the analysts say it looks like 79 more than 2009, they might mean it's more of a lower classes, working class movement kind of thing. I'm not sure. I'd have to think about that a little more, that comment. But I'm going to retweet that anyway. But that is interesting about the supposed mass arrests of student activists, journalists, protesters. I'll have to look up more on that, see if I can get you more on that too. But that was just posted by Farnaz Fasihi of the Wall Street Journal. Now I'm kind of just going to go down and talk about. Well, you know what the first thing I'm going to talk about is? The first thing I'm going to talk about is. So in addition to hearing about much more security being out there now trying to prevent the protests, I've seen a number of reports saying a lot more security forces are out. The Iranian government has a lot more security forces out trying to prevent these protests. I've also heard that there are now, you're starting to see some alternative forms of protest because apparently people think that the normal form, going out and having a lot of people gather and being loud and stuff like that and tearing down posters, people I think are afraid they're going to be arrested or be shot at or whatever. So you're starting to see some alternative forms of protest, and I want to talk about that for a second. Let me just make sure you can hear me okay. People think that sounds good. So I actually saw a couple. Give me a second and I'll call up a couple of these examples of these alternative forms of protest that I just started seeing really for the first time today. Oh, and I have some information on arrests that I want to give you too. But first, let me get to the alternative forms of protest stuff. I'm scrolling through here. Give me 1 second. I'll get there. Is that one? No, that's not one. There's actually a bunch of different stuff I want to show you. But I spotted two different new types of protests, which I hadn't seen before, actually. Sorry, I thought it would be easier to. I would have sent myself the links. I thought it would be easier to find these, but they're here. Oh, is this it? No, that's not it. Here it is. Here's one. So the first alternative form of protest I've heard about that supposedly is happening, and again, take all of this with a grain of salt because any of these reports from Iran. We're not there. Any specific video, you don't know. It could be not from Iran. It could be from a month ago or last year. So take all this with a grain of salt. We're doing the best we can. So that being said, here's one. The first form of alternative protest I've seen is people honking their horns. So this is not people going out and gathering in a mass and shouting. I think, as I said, people are worried about doing that more than they were because there's a lot more security out there, perhaps more arrests, perhaps more violence directed at protesters. They're just worried about being out there. So it seems that they're embracing these alternative forms of protest, and one of them is honking their horns. So here's a tweet. I saw one video showing this. A couple different people posted it, and I'll show you that right now. And that is, hang on 1 second. Here it is right here. This was posted by Babak Tagvi, and it says, "Tonight, people of Shiraz also practiced the new tactic of protest. They drove their cars in the streets, honking the horns to protest the Islamic regime of Iran. And in theory, if you do this, it's like a safer form of protest because they can't really tell you're protesting, and they're probably not going to arrest you for being in your car honking your horn, whereas they might arrest you or attack you if you're out on the street marching, and making noise." So let's watch this video here.
مردم به صورت بوقای ممتد مسیر گاراژ رو بستن، نیروهای سرکوبگر همه رو متفرق کردن، ماشینا با بوق دارن اعتراض خودشون رو اعلام میکنن، مردم با بوق دارن همبستگی خودشون رو اعلام میکنن. اعتراض مردم با بوقای ممتد مردم رو متفرق کردن. اینجا کرمانشاه، مسیر گاراژه.
So, this honking the horns, it kind of reminds me of, I know in 2009 when people were protesting the election, one thing people did, in addition to marching, is at night, they would go out on their balconies and just chant chant I think it's Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, and they would just shout it really loud. And so there are videos from 2009 when people are like shooting out their windows or shooting video out their window, and like so many people in the village or the town or the city are shouting Allahu Akbar, and it's just known that you're protesting by doing that, but at the same time it's like it's a way of protesting that maybe it makes it a little harder for them to like arrest you, because what are they going to do? Come and arrest you for saying Allahu Akbar out your window? So that's one alternative form of protest that we've seen, is the honking of the horns. At least purportedly that is happening. That's one. I'm going to show you another one too, which I found interesting. If I can find it here. Here it is. I got it. I got it. So this was posted by, I've seen this posted by several people. This person is M. Hanif Jazeri, but I've seen this posted by several different people. But as he describes it, he says, silent march held this evening in Bukhan, northwest Iran by anti-government protesters. So the idea of this alternative form of protest is you go out and you have a bunch of people go out to the street and you march, but you don't say anything. So it protects you, because you can just say, I'm not marching, I'm walking. I guess that's the way it protects you, you know, and it's not, you're not out there all chanting, and you just go somewhere and you all kind of walk at the same time and you march, but it's silent. So it's an alternative form of protest that in theory is protecting the protesters more from being arrested or having violence, being attacked by, you know, security or whatever. So let's watch this video here. Let me get a little higher. There we go. Silent march.
فروشی مردم در پنجشنبه 14 راهپیمایی به صورت بدون شعار.
So people just going out to the same place, walking at the same place, not making any noise. And this does, that and the honking horns one seems to be a response to an increased crackdown on protesters and increased threats by the government to come down really hard on protesters. So, you know, I also want to say, I showed that tweet before from, hang on. I'll show it to you so I can repeat the tweet. This was from Farnaz Fasihi just a little while ago. And the first thing she said is scattered protests in small towns. Now, I've heard other people saying, we don't even really know how many protests are going on just because it's so hard to communicate there. So I'll show you some videos purport to have some sizable protests from the last day or two. It's hard to confirm these things, but it's just so hard to tell what's going on. I can't say that enough, just because it's like, you know, Iran is a country of 80 million or so people, and under normal circumstances, think of all the videos you'd have coming out there. In the last day or two, you know, I might see, like, I'm scouring social media and I see like 10 new videos, and it's like there's just so little coming out of that country right now. And, you know, I posted about this on my Twitter, but it's amazing when you think about it, because like when a country normally shuts down the internet, like when there's like some kind of uprising going on or something, it's like for a few hours. They've basically shut down cell phone internet and really seriously slowed internet, and also turned off like messaging apps like Telegram and Instagram for over a week now. I think it's at least a week. So think of how much that would hurt the economy. I mean, I have to imagine so many people there either with their business involves, doing stuff with the internet. They have websites where they sell stuff, or if people have like Uber and that kind of stuff, maybe that affects it. But I have to imagine that business does use the internet there in commerce, and it's like, they're willing to shut off the internet or seriously slow it and shut down cell phone internet for over a week, or at least a week now, just to, it seems like just to A, keep the protesters from organizing, and B, keeping information about the protests from getting out. And that relates to another thing. Before I show you some of the videos about protests, I want to show you something else. So we just talked about how one new thing we started to see reportedly is new forms of protests that don't draw as much attention to themselves. Another thing we're seeing is a couple new hashtags the last couple days, where people from Iran and people sympathetic with Iran, the Iranian protests, they want help getting internet to the people of Iran. So there's a couple new hashtags that we've seen a lot of. They are the ones I've noticed so far. I'm sure there's more, but let me just tell you the two I've been seeing a lot of. Hashtag We Need Internet and hashtag Free Internet for Iran. So hashtag We Need Internet and hashtag Free Internet for Iran. Those are two of them, and I'm going to show you examples of what people write under those hashtags right now. But first, I want to just say this is Right Side Broadcasting. We are doing a broadcast on the anti-government protests in Iran. We think just because there's a media crackdown in Iran and a lot of news isn't getting out, that's no excuse to not cover it, which is what a lot of the mainstream media is just doing now. They're not covering it anymore. But we don't think that's an excuse, and we want to cover it, so we're covering it live for you tonight. And we thank you for watching, and thanks to our moderators. Guinevere is moderating in the chat room right now, so thank you. And also, if you do like this coverage, if you like that we're doing it, we hope you consider donating to Right Side Broadcasting, because we are a viewer-supported network. We stay on the air just thanks to donations. That's what keeps us on the air. So if you like this coverage, if you like that there is somebody covering this, and giving it the coverage that we think it deserves, you could donate by going to the bottom of the YouTube chat, and you can click on the dollar sign at the bottom of the YouTube chat. There's a little gray dollar sign there. So you can do that, or you can go to rsbn.tv/donate, rsbn.tv/donate. And a number of people have donated during our Iran coverage, and they'll donate and they say, thanks for the Iran coverage. We really appreciate that, and that allows us to bring you more of it. So thank you for doing that. And also, I will read your comments a little bit later in the broadcast and take your questions. And if you have any updates about what's going on in Iran, give me a shout. So you can write to me on Twitter, @Lookner on Twitter, @LOOKNER. Write to me, and I will read your comments on the air in a little bit and talk about the stuff you're sending me. But I first want to talk about these two new hashtags that I've seen. We're seeing a bunch of hashtags where people are posting trying to get help getting the internet to Iran. So first, let me talk about We Need Internet, hashtag We Need Internet, and show you some of the stuff out there having to do with that. So here's an example. This is somebody named Beta who posted a couple days ago, and hashtag We Need Internet. She said, please, internet is cut down. Help us with internet access. It is crucial for our success. I saw people even on day one of the protest saying, if countries really want to help Iran, if the U.S. really wants to help Iran, the thing to do is help them get internet. Now, I am not a technological genius. I don't know all of the nuts and bolts of all this. I've seen people suggest that the U.S. could help get Iran get internet by stationing some satellite there or something. I don't know how easy that is to do. All I do know is that a lot of people are calling for help in doing this, and it would certainly make it seems like it would make a big difference to people if they had internet access there. I was searching around. I got to search around more. I've been kind of busy today. I was looking around a little bit today, trying to find some background on this. Like, how hard is this to do for Iran? Why would it not happen? Or have countries considered this? So I'd like to find out more about this. But as you can see, here's an example of somebody posting about it and saying, we really need this. Hey, it says we need internet. Oh, maybe there's like a little video here. I'll play it. Does it have music on it? We'll see.
هستم شنونده این کلیپ صوتی باشید و از شما درخواست دارم از هشتگ وی نید اینترنت و هشتگ ایران
I think that's in Farsi. I think that's in Farsi, the most popular Iranian language, spoken in Iran, language spoken in Iran. So I can't understand that. But anyways, I'll show you some more. By the way, JC gave a donation. Thank you, JC. He gave $10. That's very nice of you, JC. We really appreciate it. That helps us stay on the air. So thanks so much, JC. Here's another post about We Need Internet. We need internet. This is from somebody named Kaveh. They say Iran has closed down the internet in large parts of the cities across the country in order to prevent the news admission of Iran protest, also to hide its crime from the eyes of the international community. It's time to take action to cripple this conspiracy. Hashtag We Need Internet. So these people are calling for internet. You know, there you go. We need internet. Also that symbol of the woman holding up the... There was a woman like a couple days or a day or two before the protest who took off her hijab and held it out to protest making her wear it. And that has become like a symbol of the protest. Again, you know, people, this guy says, I guess he's from Iran. It says born in west of Iran. But Khosrow Ziai says, at this moment, Iran protest needs internet. Could you please let everyone know we need internet? And if I do latest, you know, so these are just the latest tweets with We Need Internet. There's one from 10 minutes ago. There's a petition here calling on Donald Trump to provide Iranians with a free and fast internet. So it's at change.org. There you go, free internet for Iran. I think that's that's the other hashtag. This is convenient. The other big hashtag I've seen in addition to hashtag We Need Internet is hashtag free internet for Iran. And so this is a petition. It has 22,000 signatures so far. It says, you know, the Iranian people have launched their uprising in order to topple the Islamic regime and improve their living standards. The clerical regime, by imposing severe filtering, aims to restrict the free flow of information as a way to crack down on them and stifle their dissent. This 2 million petition calls on President Trump to provide Iranians with free and fast internet through satellite so they can take destiny in their own hands. And then if you look at the people signed, you know, this person signed, I guess, is that Arabic? I'm not sure about the language. But these are just different people who signed. These are all in English. Just wondering where people signed from. Some not in English. Anyways, you can go look at that if you want on, where is that? Change.org. And that other hashtag, just to remind you, the first one was We Need Internet. The second one was Free Internet for Iran. And these hashtags have become much bigger in the last couple days. By the way, Shirley Sue made a donation. Thank you, Shirley Sue, 228. Very nice of you. We appreciate it. We will use that to do more coverage. And, you know, people are like adding these hashtags to their tweets. This tweet isn't ostensibly about the internet. It's from Daniel Irani, and it says, peace, friendship, and love from the Iranian people to the world. But look at the hashtags. Hashtag Iran protest. Hashtag free internet for Iran. Here's another one. This is from Azadeh Soleimani. Hashtag free internet for Iran. It's a human right. It's the right of our people, and the unprotected protesters in the bloodied streets of my country need it urgently to get organized and stronger against Islamic dictator. And then this one just says, please share free internet for Iran. See, this one just says, tweet this hashtag, please. This person, Basset, says, the most effective help would be free internet without any filtration. We will do the rest. It's weird. It's a little weird to me. I find it odd that when countries block internet, there's not that big a lot of times of a diplomatic outcry. Like, I haven't heard a lot of countries saying, like, this is just awful that Iran is stopping the internet and this is just like a human rights violation. Like just there's you don't see it. Given, I mean, it's just to me, it's a very big deal if a country shuts off the internet and doesn't let its citizens communicate and doesn't let its citizens get information out to the world, especially when it's doing it for now a week now, and yet I don't feel like I hear that much on the international from the international community about this specific issue, and it does seem like an issue to it that's important to a lot of people who are in Iran. So, anyways, those are a couple new. That's a new development. So, a couple new hashtags we've seen the last couple of days get prominent. A couple new alternate forms of protest, supposedly. And there are. I do want to show you some videos that people have posted, supposedly of protests still going on during the last day or so. But before I do that, I want to check and see if there are comments from you guys. So you can write to me if you have comments, if you have new video or updates about stuff going on in Iran. Give me a shout at Lookner on Twitter. I wonder if I can find a couple people messaged me too and wanted me to mention something on the air. Let's see if I can find those real quick too. Let's see, date. Yeah. So actually, I mentioned this. Somebody named Beruz Jahan Murfard wrote me and said, "Hi, hello, Steve. I'm not sure, but you may have already mentioned this in your broadcast. There's a petition for free internet for Iranian kids. I think it's for Iranian everybody. Please broadcast this info." I think he means maybe for Iranian protesters. Young people who are protesting. He says, please broadcast this info. We all appreciate your efforts. And I apologize. At the end, he said, please incognito. So I didn't spell his name out or anything like that. So if you do write to me and you want me to not say your name, please say that at the beginning of the message, because sometimes I just read the messages on the air and I don't get to that part until the end. So, but I won't show your name or anything or mention it again. And somebody else had said, this is from Farah Nasrashian. Farah Nasrashian wanted me to say, there's an app called Lantern that allows internet access once downloaded. Please announce it in your program. I'm hoping the word gets around. It's being downloaded at a rate of 1 million per day at Iran at this time. I can't confirm any of this, but that's somebody named Farah who wanted me to read that. So I got to your messages. And thank you for the donation to DM. DM says, come on, people. Everyone can afford $5. Give to a great cause, RSBN. Great job always. Love you all. Steve, RSBN Mods, RSBN Living Room Family. Thank you so much, DM, for your donation. Very nice of you. And for your kind words. All right, so Reagan Better writes in. Reagan Better says, President Trump labeled Iran part of its Muslim ban. Well, it wasn't a Muslim ban, according to the president, Reagan Better. Senator Rand Paul also furious for giving Libya money to train to use Facebook. Why should we help a terrorist-labeled country? So, Reagan Better, it sounds like you're concerned that, we have a travel ban on Iran, so why should we help them? So, according to President Trump, if you look at the travel ban is... The reason for the travel ban is because the Trump administration is not confident that Iran is taking all the steps needed to prevent terrorists from traveling here. And that has to do with the Iranian government, that the Iranian government is not doing that. So the travel ban on these countries comes out of complaints that their government is not doing enough to stop terrorists from coming here. The travel ban is not saying everybody in that country is a terrorist or something like that. And also, the administration and other, I don't think just the administration, but definitely the administration, figures in the administration, have been careful to distinguish between the Iranian government and the Iranian people. Somebody, I think a cabinet member just today said something like, we don't have a problem with the Iranian people, we do have a problem with the Iranian government or something like that. But so, the position of the Trump administration, as I understand it, is we don't approve of the Iranian government, but we're behind the Iranian people. So if you're helping, and the travel ban is targeted because of the government actions, not because of the actions of their general populace, if that all makes sense. So I think I don't think I think you can consistently call for a travel ban for the reasons the Trump administration has called it, and still support the people there. If that answers your concern. If it doesn't, let me know, Eric. Let me see. Did President Trump send out a tweet about this, by the way? I thought he might have even tweeted something saying, I distinguish between the government and the people. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so here's a tweet from yesterday from President Trump, and he says, such respect for the people of Iran as they try to take back their corrupt government. So he's distinguishing between the people and the government. And the travel ban is directed at countries where the government isn't doing the proper job. But it's not directed at... the travel ban is not put on countries just because the travel ban being put on a country is not a judgment that, like, most of the people in that country are terrorists or something like that. Thank you for writing in, Eric. Light Switch made a donation, said, thank you for reporting. Thank you, Light Switch. Very nice of you. And... Jerry OOG made a donation. Thank you, Jerry OOG, says RSBN rocks. Thanks, Jerry. And Kent Depner made a donation. You started a trend, DM, with your donation. Kent Depner says, hello, RSBN friends, I'm all in. And JC, you started a trend too. So thank you, Kent, and everybody who's donated. We'll just use that to help stay on the air and cover more news for you, and cover more stories like this, so thank you. And Agent Harley Girl made another donation and said, Internet and bacon for Iran. Hashtag Internet and bacon for Iran. Thank you, Agent Harley Girl, for your donation. Thank you all. Much appreciated. Adriana Stugit wrote in and had something she wanted to talk about. And it's a point about being careful. I've said before, any of the pictures or videos from Iran, you have to take with a grain of salt at this point because you can't really initially confirm whether they're authentic or not. And there was one post that went viral, and I remember when I saw this picture, I thought to myself, I don't know, that looks like it might be fake. And some people were saying it was from Iran, but I've heard other people say it was from a movie, and that's what I saw somebody say it was from like a movie from out of the country or something. But Adriana sent me this, and she says this is from a movie. So she has a link. I can't show you the link because it's a YouTube video, so I'm not allowed to do that. Show you one YouTube stream on another YouTube stream. But at the same time, I've seen other reports that claiming that this was fake too. So you just have to, take everything with a grain of salt. Faze Kavan sent me something, and I think there's supposed to be a link attached, Faze, but it just says this is in Iran, Shiraz today, but there's no link there. So message me again with the link if you'd like. All right, so let me get to some of the videos that we've seen coming out today, and I can't, verify these, but there are certain videos I have seen coming out. So I want to show you. And they're new in the sense of I haven't seen them before. So, this is a piece of news. I don't know if that's news. I'm not going to show you that yet. I don't know if that's news. I gotta do a little more research on that one. Let's show you some of the videos. Sorry, I need to scroll down to where the videos are before I can show them to you. Oh, before I do that, I've noticed some posts about people. There was a report I showed you earlier that a bunch of students and there was a report about a lot of arrests starting in Iran. Here, I'll show you the report again. So Farnaz Fasihi had said just a little while ago, about an hour ago, she said there were mass arrests of student activists, journalists, and protesters. That's what she said, mass arrests of student activists, journalists, and protesters starting today. And I've noticed some people are posting on Twitter people who they believe were arrested. So this woman, Mariam Nayeb Yazdi, she says, Moshen Hagshenaz, production design major at the University of Tehran, was arrested on January 1st via HRA News. See, now this is somebody else. Babak Tagvi says, Saha Mortazai, secretary of the Central Guild Council of Tehran's University, arrested by the Ministry of Information in her house today morning. Another post by Mariam Nayeb Yazdi, Mahid Akbari, theater arts major at the University of Tehran, was arrested on January 1st. Can I confirm any of these individual arrests? No, but the Wall Street Journal reporter had their report about arrests, and we're seeing posts like this on social media. I can't confirm them, but just so you know, we're seeing that. There's a lot more of those too. And I can't confirm this report, but Babak Tagvi says, since yesterday, Islamic regime's Ministry of Information and Intelligence has arrested tens of university students in Iran, including 30 from Tehran University, in their homes because of their roles in the protest. They are under pressure for forced confessions in regime's media. I can't confirm that, but seeing some reports like that. This is a video that I've seen a number of people repost in the last couple of days. So, again, can't confirm it's authentic. But a number of people are posting this video in the last day or two, and I hadn't seen it before. This one was posted by Mustafa Mohammadi, but I've seen a bunch of other people post it too. And I believe it's somebody it's a protester, and he's like complaining about the government. But I think it's actually there's supposedly captions, English captions put on it. So people at home, if you know Farsi and he's speaking Farsi, feel free to write to me and say, hey, that's not what he's actually saying. Hang on, let me just show it to you, though.
واسه فلسطین به اسرائیل گوش میدی، به انگلیس گوش میدی، به آمریکا گوش میدی، میان ازت تقدیر میکنن. من لیسانس 10 سال 15 سال درس خوندم، وضعیت اقتصادی خرابه، نمیشه زندگی کرد. اومدم اعتراض کنم، منو با باتون گرفته زده، سرمو شکونده، لباسم خونی شده. این وضع براییه. من جونم رو به خاطر این مملکت میدم، من از جونم گذشتم، ولی شماهایی که تو سر کارتونی مغازهاتون رو ببندید، برید از جووناتون حمایت کنید.
So that looks like it's from recently. It seems to be talking about these protests. I can't confirm it, but that is a video that's been widely shared the last day or two on social media. And the person says, if the translation's correct, that he has 2 bachelor's degrees, I think he said, but he can't make it economically under these conditions. If you have comments or you're seeing new updates about what's going on in Iran or things you think might be going on, give me a shout on Twitter at Lookner, at Lookner. Faze Kevan says the thing he was talking about, I think it's a he, is in Shiraz will take 1 day to get a video. So it sounds like he's saying he'll have a video in a day maybe. Okay, feel free to send it in when you get it. I haven't seen this video yet. This was posted by Armin Navabi. And it says, this lady was reportedly hit on the head with a baton by the Islamic regime forces during the protests in Iran. The cameraman asks, may I film you? She responds, yes, do it. Man, say something. They hit her on the head. It's bleeding now. So let's watch this. Can't confirm it, but we will watch it anyway and see what it is.
ازت فیلم بگیرم؟
آره بگیر.
بگو صحبت کن. سرشو زدم خون اومده بابا.
It looked like she had a little blood in her hair, but can't confirm. Here is another video I haven't seen. Perhaps that suggests it's recent. Unconfirmed, but this was also posted by Armin Navabi, so we'll show you this one. It says, protesters in Iran chant, "This is not the right way to live with such arrogant clerics in charge." Now, I know we have some viewers out there who watch us who know Farsi. So if you watch any of these videos and you say, hey, the person says they're saying this is not the right way to live with such arrogant clerics in charge, but that's not what they're actually saying, feel free to message me and I'll say and tell me what they're actually saying. So I'm happy to offer corrections or whatever. Kent J. Deppner just made another donation. Thank you, Kent. Kent says, RSBN Friends Challenge, $5. RSBN has been on the air multiple times in 2 weeks. Let's just do it. Thank you, Kent. Very kind of you. We are viewer supported, so your donations are what keeps us on the air, so we really appreciate it. If you want to donate, you can either do what Kent did. You can go to the bottom of the YouTube chat, click on the dollar sign at the bottom of the YouTube chat, or if you're watching on Facebook or somewhere else where you're not watching on YouTube, you can always donate by going to rsbn.tv/donate, rsbn.tv/donate. And write me during the broadcast at Lookner. I want to hear what you think about all this, or if you have updates about what's going on in Iran, you're hearing things. Let's see here. Let me show you another video that I saw earlier that I hadn't seen anywhere before, and I watched it just before the broadcast. This is a video, it's posted by M. Hanif Jazayeri, and it says, Khamenei's poster, he's the supreme leader of Iran, torn up right in front of security forces who don't dare to approach the brave young Iranians who seek regime change and a free Iran. This footage is from day 6 of the Iran protests in Mashed Soleiman, West Iran, and was sent with delay via MEK activists. So that's the claim about what this video is. Let's watch the video. Now, it does look to be somebody tearing down a picture of Khamenei and people cheering. Was it on day 6? We don't know. Hey guys, if you send me a video clip, do me a favor if you can. A couple of you sent me video clips, which is great, but describe to them what they are, because if you just send the video clip, I'm not really sure what they're supposed to be, and then I have to kind of scroll through them, and I'm not even sure, are they like, how do I know they're from Iran? So it's a little tough when I see video clips and I don't have no context about them. So like maybe if you can find where you got it and what they said about it or something, that would make it a little easier, because I don't want to just literally show anything. I don't doubt that you're sending me videos you think are legitimate, but once in a while there are people who send stuff to me who just are trying to like sending me stuff they know is not authentic, and they're just trying to get it on the air or whatever, or deceive me. So it's good to have a little more background when you send me stuff, just some sort of description where you got it, where it came from, or that kind of thing. Elizabeth Luker made a donation and said, I talked to a good friend of mine last night that I met in med school who is Iranian. A majority of his family is still there. His mom said that this protest started because of different inflations, mainly with food, eggs to be exact. Yeah, reportedly, Elizabeth, the price of eggs has gone up a lot lately, and it's a big deal there how expensive they are. Perhaps I don't live there, but perhaps it's a very big staple of food that everybody uses all the time. But thank you, Elizabeth, for the donation. Very nice of you. Let me keep showing you some videos that I've seen come out the last couple days. This one I saw, and I'm not even sure what this is supposed to be from, but it seems to show a lot of security out there. If this is from this year. This was posted by Alireza Nader, who works for the RAND Corporation, and he says just one of many cities that joined the nationwide uprising Iran protests. But if you look, I think the video is a lot of security forces. Let me see.
Jones, 96.
So two different shots in that video of what appear to be a lot of security forces, and we have been hearing reports of a large number of security in a lot of places in Iran. The same person who posted that posted something else. He posted this. He says, and he works for the RAND Corporation. He says, I think he does research in the Middle East. He's a senior policy analyst at the RAND Corporation, focusing on the Middle East. And he says the current Iran protest may diminish for now, but the Islamic Republic, including Rouhani, have a major crisis on their hands. Things will only get worse for them from now on. You got to wonder, it's maybe people will stop going out in the street and protesting as forcefully as they've been doing the last couple of days, because maybe they don't want to get arrested or beaten up, but that won't change how they feel. So, don't know what the regime is definitely is willing to use force to stay in power. So where does that leave all of this? If you have a lot of people really, really angry with the regime, where does this go next? If they're not just going to go out in the street every day and start setting everything on fire, what happens then? And I don't really have a good answer for you. Oh, but I do want to say this. Something I saw, another report of supposedly something happened was an oil strike. And actually, conveniently, I just saw a tweet mentioning it. But I've seen several reports, unconfirmed, that some oil workers have gone on strike. So this is posted by somebody named Hossein Abadini, and it says, urgent in southern Pars oil and gas refinery. There was a strike in the city of Asaluya. I've seen the reports that in Asaluya there was an oil worker strike. The capital of Asaluya County. 3 days after Iran's main opposition calls for oil industry to go on strike in solidarity with Iran protests. So I have seen some reports of that. I've also seen a rumor going around. I have no idea if this is true. A couple of people have posted this rumor that regime orders retired Republican Guard commanders back to service to confront the sedition, sign of regime's desperation and vulnerability. I can't confirm that. I just will say I saw it a couple of different places. Oh, and I'll show you. A viewer told me to read this guy's page. I've been looking at it somewhat. This guy, Thomas Wichter, author, novelist, and the planet's only expert on World War I flamethrowers. So he's been posting a lot of stuff on Iran. But, who knows whether it's true. But I do want to show you, he did do an interesting thread earlier today. Let me just find it for you. Sleight of Hand, thank you for your donation. Sleight of Hand says, thank you for covering this important story as opposed to reading from that Michael Wolff book that the rest of the media is obsessing over. It's amazing to me how much the media is talking about the Michael Wolff book to the exclusion of basically everything else. If you watch the press briefing, we'll go watch it yourself. Watch the press briefing today. It was like 90% about the Michael Wolff book. But there's so much important stuff going on. There's stuff going on with North Korea, with Iran, with the budget, but it's all Michael Wolff. And the Michael Wolff stuff, a lot of that's just basically like a soap opera. Like, will Steve Bannon not be at Breitbart anymore? It's like, fine. It's just, is that really much more important than the Iran stuff? I don't know. But the media loves Trump soap opera stuff. They just love it. They can't get enough of it. Like, that becomes the point when it's soap opera-y enough. It's not even news anymore. It's just a soap opera. Okay, I need to find you. Here it is. Here's this thread. This is the thread I want to show you. Okay, so this is this guy, Thomas Wichter. Take what he's saying. Take this however you will. Let me show you his he did this what am I saying? Thread that some people are talking about on Twitter, but it was interesting to me. So he says here the first two shots are from a 50 caliber rifle. Now, I don't think I can even show you this video because it's YouTube. Let me see if I can show you a screenshot of it. So anyways, it's just a video, I think maybe of a protest or something, but it's a video supposedly from Iran, and there's some shots, and he says the first two are from a 50 caliber rifle. I guess he can tell that from the sound, supposedly. And then he says, I would be very surprised if the regime were using such expensive, incredibly destructive ammunition on protesters. He says 50 caliber rifles are called anti-materiel rifles. They can take out car engines and light armor. Then he says modern weapons have become very portable. But the Iranian versions, he says, are monsters. So those are supposedly 50 caliber Iranian weapons. He says even the new Iranian Haydar 50 caliber weapon is very heavy and long. Then he says, there's literally no reason for the security forces to use these weapons on protesters. Also, the bullet would create such horrific damage that a single photo of a victim would cause a tremendous backlash in Iran. So he's saying all this, but he's saying he's seen a video where it seems to him that a 50 caliber rifle like this is being used. And he's saying, he says it doesn't seem like the regime's using it, or they would be using it. Then he posts, this is from a video that we actually showed a couple days ago of people surrounding, I think it was a police station, protesters surrounding a police station. And he says, this is a 50 caliber high explosive incendiary armor piercing round hitting a police blockhouse near the ceiling. It hit over the heads of the cops inside. In other words, he says it was a warning. So he says he can tell from this video that when this explosion happened, it was a high caliber, a 50 caliber high explosive munition fired from a 50 caliber weapon. And he continues by saying, there are now multiple videos that include visual or audio evidence of 50 caliber rifles used on behalf of the protesters. Not the regime, the protesters. Then he says, the regime says the protests have ended, but this was posted 3 hours ago, and it's another video which I can't show you because it's a YouTube video, but it's a video of a large protest in some city somewhere in Iran. So then he says, so again, all we can do is wait. So it sounds like he thinks that the protesters have significant, strong weaponry that they're not really using yet, or not using a lot yet. Who knows? I don't know if he knows this really, but that's what he's saying. I thought that was an interesting thread, though. Shirley Sue 228 gave another donation. Thank you, Shirley Sue 228. That's 2 donations from you. Thank you. Okay, Patrick Hostis sent me a video that he says is supposedly from the Iran protests in the city of Isfahan, January 4th, from today. So he's saying he heard this is from today. I can't confirm it. I'll show it to you. I haven't watched it yet. This is from our viewer, Patrick Hostis. Let's watch it and see what it is. Thank you, Patrick. So I haven't seen that video before. I can't confirm it's from today, but there are, as you can see, there are some new videos coming out. Or maybe they're old and they're being presented as new. A message from our viewer, John William Fisher. He says, I can confirm that the Lantern app for Android works for accessing certain internet services in Iran while they're blocked or slowed down. GetLantern.org. Tested with various Iran VPNs and proxies that otherwise blocked all internet access without the app. So that's from our viewer, John William Fisher. Thank you for writing in. Our viewer, Susan Sarfaraz, writes in, to be or not to be, that's for Mr. Trump. We've heard enough. Time to act, Mr. Trump. Provide us with free internet for us, and we do the rest. You either with us or without. That's from Sasan Sarfaraz. Thank you for writing in. Will any government do that? Will any government just say, you know what, we don't care what Iran says. We're going to put a satellite up if they can, or something like this. Do whatever they need to do to give internet to people there. I don't know. I don't even know what how that would technically work. But all right. So XX Bad Sport XX sent me this video, which I had not shown yet, and I have seen this video posted elsewhere today. Supposedly, this is a video of some of the oil and gas workers who went on supposedly strike today. I can't confirm that, but I've seen this video posted by other people as well. So thank you for sending it again. This is from XX Bad Sport XX. I'll show you this video. So it is people walking around in a group at some kind of energy place, it looks like. Now, of course, if a lot of oil workers started going on strike, that might affect the regime. But Hard to really say how many workers went on strike. Are more going to go on strike? Is this, how big might this get? Did this even, I can't even 100% confirm it happened. Or even 90% confirm it happened. XX Bad Sport XX also sent me this, claiming it's from Shiraz. I totally cannot confirm this. I can't confirm where this is from, when it's from, but one of our viewers sent it in. Oh, I can't. By the way, hold on. I have to turn off the music. So, can't confirm that's from the last couple of days. Can't confirm it's from Iran. Bad Sport XX thinks it's from Shiraz. Thanks for sending it in. As long as you weren't trying to trick me, which I don't think you were. Let's see if there's anything else I wanted to show you in terms of videos. I think I pretty much hit everything I wanted to show you in terms of like the big videos that people were passing around. Oh, this is interesting. I hadn't seen this one before. So Iran Wire claims this is today, earlier today, families of arrested protesters outside of Evin Prison, North Tehran. So that's what they say this is. Let's watch this video. Hey, volume. Supposedly family members of arrested prisoners outside a prison in Iran. Arrested protesters? Arrested protesters, yes. This is a story posted by Reza H. Akbari, and it's a story that says Iran's Republican Guard and their allies enlist public in Twitter to chase suspected protesters. And the headline says, some Iranians are calling out local media and Twitter over apparent vigilantism on behalf of the feared Revolutionary Guards. And I can't confirm this, of course. Where the first paragraph says Iran's Revolutionary Guards has sparked anger by using media proxies to crowdsource the identification and reporting to authorities of individuals photographed at anti-establishment protests, including indirectly through social media like Twitter. Also says, the effort came as a week of demonstrations and violent unrest across the country were said to be eased. So we're hearing some reports that there's fewer demonstrations, although we can't really be sure. But we're also said to be continuing in some places. So if you want to see that article, you can go to Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, and look up that headline. Let's see. Iran Wire just posted a few videos, so we can look at those. They say this is protests in Isfahan. This one, they say. Let's look at this one. If that is from the day, that's a big protest. Here's another video from Iran Wire. They say, Day 8, protests in the city of Dezful, southwestern Iran. I will say these protest videos, like the ones we've seen earlier in the week, protesters are quite young. Iran Wire posted this video, and it says, Day 8, security forces are stationed in different parts of the city of Kermanshah. Another video suggesting a lot of security is out there now these days in Iran. I don't think we watched this one yet. These were all just posted by Iran Wire. Day 8, protests in Zarin Shar, suburb of Isfahan. Are those kind of things happening in a lot of towns? Can't tell. Show you one more from Iran Wire. Oh, a couple more. They just posted all these. This says, Day 8, military convoy moves towards Tehran to suppress the protests.
چهاردهم پنجشنبه اینجا صدای افسری است تهران اینا ماشین‌های ضد شورش سپاه پاسداران ایران ویژه دارن اعزام میشن به تهران الان ساعت 3 بعد از ظهر برای سرکوب مردم مقرشون هم تو همون جاده خاوران.
So you see that convoy of trucks on the right. This is the last one they posted. Day 8, says in Iran Wire, art students in Tabriz stage a sit-in protesting the arrest of students at the university. That looks like a picture there. All right. Well, I think at this point, let me just look at to make sure I've got to see your messages. Yeah, I think I'm caught up with the messages there. So I think at this point we're going to wrap up this stream. I think that's about as good as we can do in terms of getting some sort of update. We talked about alternative forms of protest developing, new hashtags, a call to get internet back to Iran. So some Iranians want, and other people want, other governments like the U.S. to try to get internet supply to the Iranian people because it's being cut off by their government. Hearing some reports of different protests, some reports that a lot of students and journalists and activists have been arrested, but we can't confirm. So that's really where we're at right now. Which sort of, we'll give you more information when we get it in, and try to keep you updated. But it's really hard to say what's going on there. I would think at a certain point they're going to have to unthrottle the internet there if they want commerce and business to be able to continue. So when that happens again, when the internet starts working again, do we start seeing more protests again? Might they be waiting for, the internet to get turned back on? So we'll see what happens. But we'll keep you up to date. We're committed to following this story as long as it's going on here at Right Side Broadcasting. So we will definitely keep coming on and doing streams. For now, though, be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and click the notifications bell so you get notifications. Except for today, they weren't sending out notifications to our viewers about our streams. but you should get them. So you can also follow us on Facebook, Right Side Broadcasting, and on Twitter at RSB Network, and me on Twitter at Lookner, at Lookner. I'll definitely tweet when we're coming on the air about Iran. And also, I follow breaking news all the time. So if I hear about Iran stuff and we're not on the air, I will post it on my Twitter. Ooh, I should just see real quick. That reminded me. I was going to show you a couple stings that I saw on Twitter earlier today. Yeah, so I thought this was helpful. This woman has been posting a lot of stuff about Iran, and she says, Mariam Nayeb Yazdi, she said, although there seem to be some protests in Iran today, there is not enough data to produce a map on day 8. So no protest map. They've been coming out with these protest maps where you can see where the protests are. And she's like, we don't even have enough information to be sure where they really were. So that I wanted to show you. But thank you to those of you, a lot of you made donations during the broadcast. Very nice of you. We are viewer supported. We can only do this coverage of Iran and everything else because you support us. So if you like our coverage, if you like having a place to watch some Iran coverage and not having to be forced to watch hour after hour of Alexander Wolf White House book coverage, please consider donating because your donations are what allow us to do this. You can go to the bottom of the YouTube chat and click on the $sign at the bottom of the YouTube chat, that little square $sign there. Or you can go to rsbn.tv/donate, rsbn.tv/donate. You can even get free stuff like this Right Side mug and stuff like this by signing up for a monthly donation at rsbn.tv/donate. Thank you so much to our moderators, Guinevere, Glenn Jean. They were both there tonight. And Common Sense and Gleno on the website. And all of the people who sent me stuff during the broadcast, messaged me, sent me videos and links and whatever. Thank you so much. And thank you all for watching. Thank you all, for being interested in this Iran stuff. We think it's important. And so we're glad some of you are watching and find it important as well. But for now, I'm going to sign off for now. If there's breaking news later tonight, of course, we'll come on and cover it. And we'll keep an eye on the Iran stuff. And as warrants, we will come on and keep updating you about that. Thanks, everybody, for saying thanks in the chat room. Thank you, DM. Thank you, Barry H. Thank you, JC. Thank you. Thanks, Arden. GM, thank you very much. Nikki H. Oh, no, Nikki H was saying something to somebody else. But anyways, thanks for watching, Nikki H. Larissa's Lighthouse, thank you. Light Switch. Thank you, Elysia. And everybody else there in the chat room. Light Switch, yes. Light Switch, you say me. I think did I say you Light Switch or not? Anyways, well, you just got said. Martin Marble says, Steve Lookner, meet me at the Waffle House. Thank you, Rufus. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up for now. Thank you for joining us for this stream. Please let people know who might be interested that we are covering Iran stuff on Right Side Broadcasting. So we wish you all a pleasant evening, a good evening, and I'm sure we will see you very soon with more news. But from now, I'm Steve Lookner from all of us here at Right Side Broadcasting. Have a good night, and thank you for watching this broadcast.